talk a little bit more about this OC hire. See, I heard a lot of people say, I was talking to a Bears fan. He was like, oh, I'm glad I was scared when you guys got Mike McDaniels because, of this illusion. And I think a lot of people don't understand as far as what the Lions trying to do and what they trying to do. Last year they had a bunch of explosive plays, but, it didn't look very comfortable offensively. And they trying to get back to their identity. They trying to get back. You out here walking in the snow is wild. But to our Detroit Lions Saw playlist, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. No, I've done a video already where what I said before they even made this hire, what I said that what they needed at the offensive coordinator position, right? And they needed to get back. They lost their physical identity. That's what I think people don't understand. They lost their physical identity, being able to run over people. And a lot of that had to do with, John Morton, wanting to throw the ball around and be cute, kind of when they transferred to Jahmyr Gibbs. And Gibbs is a pretty physical back for his size. But really, when you look at it, the tone of physicality is legitimately set by old buddy, David Montgomery. So they got an offensive coordinator that just really wanted to come in and be cute. And they have a head coach. When he started calling plays, he got obsessed with explosive play calling. He couldn't stick to the run. So the essence of this offense and why it was so successful, even when Ben Johnson got in there, it was really about Jamal Williams. It really was about, really running the football and having an identity. And a lot of y'all are like, oh my God, our passing off. Guess what? They already know how to pass the football. Let me just tell you that. The Detroit Football Lions know how to pass the football. You seen it all last year. You ask yourself, okay, what was missing? It was the physicality in the run game. You had some explosive runs by Jahmyr Gibbs, but also on the other side, you wasn't getting those nasty, grinded out runs. They had so many explosive plays that, when they couldn't generate the explosive plays, you know what I'm saying? When they couldn't generate those explosive plays, it pretty much was a wrap. So for the most part, they couldn't generate the physical plays, the tone setting plays, the body shots that wear down your opponent type plays. And that's what was missing with the Lions, man. And I think a lot of people just don't know what they watching when they watch football. Going back to what Amon-Ra St. Brown said, the fans don't know shit, especially on that. And I know I heard TJ Lang say you can't lash out at the fans, but my thing is I try to live in truth. Was it true? They didn't know shit about the guy, so they just criticized him because they didn't know who he was. That's not fair. Like I said, you got this telephone in your hand. You can easily research what he's done. And it's just, Arizona didn't win, so this wasn't a good mood. When you have a team, it could be a number of reasons why you didn't win. He could have been a fantastic offensive coordinator. But guess what? If he didn't have the pieces to succeed, if the defense wasn't making stops, if the quarterback didn't really commit to it and really was half in and not all in, what can you really do? It's deeper than wins and losses, and I use the comparison with Chuck Daly. Chuck Daly was trash, and if you just go by the record in Cleveland. But like Jack McCloskey said, he just didn't have the pieces, the team. They wasn't a good football team. That wasn't his fault per se. Basketball team. And then he got to Detroit. He was a great coach he was exactly what the Pistons needed. So if the Pistons just went to get a guy who had already won, that might not have worked for them. That might not have worked for them. When you start talking about they might have went out there and got a guy. They might have went out there and got a guy who for the most part who the most part was successful, but he wasn't a good football fit. But the true identity of this team, that what was missing, because you had all the explosive plays and you had everything going on. And, you know, what was truly missing was they physicality, man. They physicality was their idea. That's what they was missing. They wasn't, you know, the Lions had a really balanced identity. The way this team was built, they were a physical football team, but also they can put up points. So they can play however you want to play. If you want to play, go 20 plays up the field and grind it out, they could. If you wanted to, you know, make them, make plays down the field, they could. You wanted to make them make plays intermediate, they could. They can take short passes or intermediate passes for touchdowns. They can do explosive plays. They can chip at you. What they were missing last year was the grinded out part. The team, people, you know, the run game where people had to commit to that. Their identity was gone. So what did they go out there and do? They went to go get a guy who wants to run the football, who wants to run your team over, but also understood that he shows the fluidity. He showed fluidity on how to make it work. Even with a guy like Kyler Murray, he made it work to an extent. Jacoby Brissett, who mimics pretty much Jared Goff, he made it work. He can pass the ball. And my thing is this, the Lions are creative without Ben Johnson. Last year proved that they still creative. They still can create explosive plays. They're missing the physicality part. Now Drew Petzing, can he fix that just with a play sheet and with some no, he needs some horses. They need horses up front. You know, Taylor Decker lead, they need a left tackle. They need, if Taylor Decker stay, they still need left tackle. He just play guard. But right now, if you're going to take the center, I'm fine with that. Kick him to center. I have no issue with it. Mahogany, you can leave him at guard and then find you a left tackle and then, start building that camaraderie there and let, whoever else battle out for the right guard position, whether it's Manu, Giovanni, whether it's Miles Frazier, whether you bring somebody else in, but they missing that identity, and he bringing that kick-ass identity. And what's crazy, if he failed, everybody gonna have something to say. It's like you saying something wrong in the video, or you make a mistake and you title the video wrong. Everybody gonna let you know in the comment section. But when you write and you spitting facts, or you prove that you was right, and I told you guys, everybody disappeared. Don't nobody got nothing to say. Don't nobody had nothing else to say. Don't nobody want to say, and don't nobody want to, be everybody church mouses. So this hire, if it goes terribly wrong and it doesn't work, you're going to hear a bunch of people say, I told you this was trash and this was garbage. I told you this was them going to be getting fired off of this. Now, if this works, these motherfuckers going to act like they was with it. Oh, I said it. I'm telling y'all how I go. Telling you how I go. Telling you how I go. We already know what it is, but they're missing that physical identity, that physicality. But hey, thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Find me on X, Facebook, Kick, Twitch, Instagram, Spotify, Anchor, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. Appreciate the love and support. Let me know what you girls and guys think in the comment section. Peace.